circle blues. When I see the circles out, I get glum, there is no doubt. Got me the old chair circle blues. When I see chairs in a round, that's when I start to panic. Flap me hands all in the air, the doctor says I'm manic. Oh no, it's not right, association every night. Got me the old chair circle blues.
Hello and welcome to Not the Chair Circle, the antidote to group therapy. Episode 2, Series 4. No one's more surprised than we are. Now we have to start today with an urgent message. Regular viewers will be aware that we here at Not the Chair Circle are in receipt of the flagship mental health missive from the NHS, Every Mind Matters. This is an email service from the NHS, that is to say the National Health Service of our grand nation. It provides us nutters with handy tips and tricks on how to keep our minds nice and neat and tidy. This month it came with a shocking revelation. Hello viewers, serious announcement, Shaggy here. Below Monday, authored by that abysmal electropop group New Order, is probably the most dismal single that was ever released. Anyone suffering from depression or similar conditions should seriously avoid this morose, melodically derelict mood-over of a record. If you should become exposed, you should seek professional help immediately. Or get a copy of Come On Feel the Noise by Slade. Thank you, Shaggy. Now in tonight's episode we're going to be discussing the new normal, which would appear to be anything but. Viewers of YouTube would be hard pressed not to notice the plethora of programmes dedicated to mental health issues. We at Not the Chair Circle represent that remark. So widespread and varied are the cerebral maladies emerging today that it would seem difficult, if one was not very careful, not to be afflicted by at least one of them. We shall be looking into this disturbing trend later in the show. But first, I'm delighted to announce the return of Right On, our regular slot where we look at the correspondence from you, our viewers. Now, as last week was the first episode of the series, we didn't have any correspondence. But this week, right on cue, we have a missive from our regular correspondent, by post, Miss, not Ms, Dorothea Spume of Newport Pagnell. She writes, to whoever's in charge this week, first show of the series and no Bedlam Boogie Boys. How many times must I write? It is hard enough to get the others in the TV lounge to put the show on, but when there is not even an appearance of the boys at the end, I get threats and my further viewing is put in jeopardy. Matron had to wade in last night and hand out extra meds before the others would stop throwing things. I will withdraw my subscription and put you back down into single figures if I do not see an improvement immediately. Yours, furious, Miss, not Ms, Dorothea Spume. Well, Miss Spume, let me put your mind at rest. The boys will be back and giving of their best at the climax of the show. But now, Poetry Corner. We continue our look at the film taken at the after party after the recording of Break the Circle at the end of Series 3. We rejoin the impromptu poetry recital as Space has another attempt at entertaining the crowd. Yeah, I've got another, hang on. I've got a proper one, hang on. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er a dale and hill, when all at once I had a doubt and wondered what was in those pills.
Honestly.
What? It's Wordsworth. Billy Wordsworth. Don't exit.
Oh dear. Well, not quite the original text, I fear. More from the after party next time. And now we go to our main feature tonight. As is ever the case on Not the Chair Circle, I, the mere link man, have been given scant details as to its content, so I shall merely say, over to Studio 5. Hi, and welcome to Gobshite with me, Mike Gobshite. With mental illness on the rise in society today, could it be that the more mentally stable or sane members of the community are in danger of being marginalised? As their numbers dwindle, will they face the inevitable fear and prejudice of the irrevocably different? The emerging situation could give a new and sinister twist to the term the new normal. We sought out an average family whose lives have been affected by this unfolding situation.
What do you do when something is not quite right with a member of your family? We look into this pressing topic tonight in A Life This Ordinary, a Gobshite special. This is Justin. He lives in a small flat which he has rented since leaving home at the age of 18 to start full-time work. He has a 9-to-5 job which he jokingly says will be the death of him. His manager, however, says he is a quiet, responsible young man with whom everybody at work gets along. It was through his job that he met his girlfriend. They see each other most weekends. They are, in his words, taking things steady.
Yeah, love you too. Okay, bye.
In the evening, Justin watches the television and performs sundry routine household chores. All these factors and many others contributed to all those around him reaching a shocking conclusion. Justin is normal.
His parents, Sid and Vera aside, first noticed symptoms when Justin was only a toddler.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't help but notice. He was, even when he was little, whenever he was tired or hungry, he'd start to cry. But he would shut up as soon as we fed him or put him to bed. No threats, no biting, no speaking in demonic tongues. It was eerie. It gave me the creeps. Yeah, and then there was his action men. We bought him dozens of them, and then one day they all disappeared. Well, I quizzed him about it till he coughed up and he said he got fed up with them, so he swapped them with the kid next door for some cars. Now the kid next door, little Johnny Scroat, he impaled the action man through the groin, beheaded him in a ritualistic ceremony and then burned them. He wrote "Satan made me do it" on his bedroom wall in ketchup. I tell you, some parents have it easy. In desperation, I thought I'd buy him a cat.
What happened?
Yeah, well, it was all going fine until it scratched him.
And what happened then?
Well, he sort of went off it a bit, but he still played with it occasionally. Yeah, no missing kettle, digging holes at midnight. Not at all what we was hoping for.
And when did his behaviour become a concern to you, Mrs. Side?
Well, when other people started to notice. I mean, we started him at the playgroup, but he just didn't fit in. Yeah, that's right. It weren't natural. Trotting off to school, happy as Larry every morning. No calls to go and get him, no exclusions. Now, we, as responsible parents, knew we had to do something. We Googled it. It's all in here. It said by age 4, most children have exhibited at least one behavioural abnormality. Now, his contentment and quietude was causing distress amongst his peer group. The other kids wouldn't go near him. Yeah, you see, we was worried about the social stigma.
For him as well as us?
We visited Justin's former school to talk to their pastoral care department.
Justin, yes, Justin was a most problematic child. Most of his classmates by age 7 had been sent to the department for at least some form of remedial education. By that stage, we normally expect there to have been some intimidation given or received, plus a violent outburst against a member of staff. Justin just refused to respond to any stimulus we gave him. Standard disparagement, poking him, hiding his things. He just looked confused and asked us what we were doing.
And how was this affecting others?
Well, as you can imagine, it was having a most detrimental effect upon the whole school. His classmates were becoming increasingly nervous in his company, and he was causing a lot of concern here in the department.
How so?
Well, we've got our jobs to think of. If this thing proved contagious, we could all be out of work in 6 months.
Despite his parents' best efforts, no special schooling could be found to accommodate Justin's condition. Nor were there any facilities available that would admit Justin for residential treatment. He was forced to remain in mainstream schooling until finishing with modest exam qualifications. He then faced his next big challenge, seeking full-time employment in the outside world. And help finally arrived, viewers, in the form of our very own Dr. Robert, expert analyst in the emerging field of dormant psychosis. Dr. Robert.
Good evening. Good evening, Mike.
So, Doctor, you were able to finally assist Justin and his frantic parents in the quest to integrate him into modern society.
Yes, indeed, Mike. With some proper, discreet monitoring, I did not see a barrier to finding the hidden condition which Justin must surely be repressing. Hours of painstaking research on YouTube had taught me that in society today, nobody is ever truly normal. I was determined, if only for the sake of for the sake of his parents, to establish exactly what Justin's underlying abnormalities were. Deep down, I knew that he must have some disorder that would finally allow him to fit into modern mainstream society. Careful observation led me to a breakthrough on only day 4. I observed Norman carefully replacing the toilet seat after urination. On subsequent days, I established that Norman repeated this extraordinary behaviour without exception every time he went to the bathroom at home or to the toilet at work. This is a compulsive trait entirely alien to the mature male. I was thus able to finally discover an abnormal behaviour. Initial assessment. Putting the seat down. PTS. D. Excellent.
Now, while this was hailed as a major breakthrough in the Side family, there were small pockets of society who were starting to object to this mass standardization of mental conditions and to the imposing of enforced abnormality. We spoke to one such normie outside his place of work.
Well, it all began as a question of pay and conditions. They weren't going to pay us unless we had a condition. Now, I have never had a trauma, an ism, or a syndrome, and I do not intend to start now.
We then spoke to the management of the same establishment.
Thank you everybody. If we could just have some order, thank you. Now, we've been listening to your concerns, and naturally, we do not condone discrimination in any way. We are offering introductory classes in entry-level eccentricity, but attendance at these will not be mandatory. We have decided that for expediency, a don't tell policy would be the simplest solution moving forward. Should you see someone exhibiting signs of normality at work, then, unless it may prove to be a safety hazard, you should allow them to go about their business unchallenged. We do ask, however, that they wait inside the building for 10 minutes at the end of the day while the others run for their carers or therapists in the car park. Thank you. A short-term solution or the shape of things to come? We'll let you decide, viewers. This is Mike Gobshite, signing out. Well, viewers, more sterling investigative work there from Mike Gobshite, giving us all a glimmer of hope for a more balanced, tolerant and integrated society in future. And now, folks, they're back. Yes, by popular demand and straight from another blockbuster tour of the Tea Rooms of East Anglia and the Theatre Royal Norwich. That's right, it's our in-house jazz virtuosi, the Bedlam Boogie Boys, who will be playing us out with a new composition. Before that, the gang would like me to express on their behalf their extreme gratitude that you showed up to watch our little show today. I, as always, would like to thank you for your kind indulgence. The Bedlam Boogie Boys.
Now there's a little cart, brings joy to all our hearts. On the ward at 5:30, the inmates start to come alive. Whatever can it be to cause us so much glee? Can't describe the way I feel when I hear its squeaky wheel. Hip, 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 hooray for the old Mets trolley. The wagon sent to brighten up our day. The pharmacist brought forth his skills. Now there's a pill for every ill. Hip, 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 hooray for the old Mets trolley. Hurrah for matron pushing it along. Hip, 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 hooray for the old Mets trolley. Listen while we play our little song.
You have been watching Not the Chair Circle, written, composed and performed by Bob McGowan, aided and abetted by the people in his head. This has been a Bobby No Mates production.
Now every day at 5, slack Jordan half alive. The patients all slump on their beds, everyone bereft of meds. But by 1:15, relief's in sight at last. Little cups lined on a tray, guaranteed to make your day. Hip, 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 hooray for the old Mets trolley. The wagon sent to brighten up our day. The pharmacist brought forth his skills. Now there's a pill for every ill. Hip, 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 hooray for the old Mets trolley. Hurrah for matron pushing it along. Hip, 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 hooray for the old Mets trolley. A daily dose to right your every wrong.